You know the path with God, and it's one of meaning and purpose and love and life. And sometimes we get off that path, and God tries real hard. He gives us His teaching, He gives us His commandments, and says, because I love you, this is the safe path. You get off that path, there's a lot of danger over there. Are you off God's path today? Are you off in a place that's not healthy, and it's not close to God, and it's in a place that's dangerous for you to be? And if so, God is saying, I love you so much. I want to take this staff and I want to lay it on your shoulder. And I want to get your attention. And I want to direct you back on the path that's close to me, that leads to life. So maybe the path that you're on isn't the healthiest path, but God is trying to lead you back on to the healthiest path. I will fear no evil, for you are with me. In our journey in life, what we need more than anything else is we need to know that God is with us. The path that you're walking today may be an easy path. You're heading toward getting married. You're expecting a child. You're starting a new job. You're facing what promises to be a good retirement. Things are going well in life for you, and for others of us in this room today, this is a hard week and this is a hard day. And you're walking this path with God, but you're not quite sure how you're going to make it through this day and through tomorrow. And the way that it works with God is He doesn't solve all of our problems immediately. He doesn't take away all of our pain immediately. He doesn't make it all bright sunshine and lollipops immediately. But what He does is He shows us that He is with us. So here's how you can pray. If today is a place where you're walking with God and you don't know how you're going to keep going down that path, a very valid prayer is, Lord, just show me that you're with me. Just give me a sign along the way. I know it's not all going to be resolved today. I know we may be in this for a while. But here's what I need. I can do this. We can do this. But I have to know that you're with me. And watch how God will show you a sign along the way. What's He going to do? That's up to Him. He'll communicate with you in ways that are unique to you. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, and my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. When we believe in God, love God back, follow Jesus, we're on a path that leads from this life into eternity. There's been a lot in our church family. There's been a lot in our life that brings us face to face with our mortality. Not something we like to think about a lot, but it's the absolute truth. People around here that we have loved a lot have gone to be with the Lord. Sisters and brothers and parents, children, grandchildren. It doesn't make any logical sense. It doesn't follow a logical order of who goes first. But people that we love a lot have gone to be with the Lord. And it gets us thinking, how about me and how about my time of dying? Talk about a time when we need God with us, leading us. If we don't have God at that point, what do we have? And God says to us, I will continue to lead you down that path until you dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The psalmist is talking about the tabernacle and being in the house of worship and things like that. But we think about being in the presence of God forever. Him we trust. Jesus, who laid down His life and who picked it up again. Jesus, who says, I go and prepare a place for you, that you and I may be together for all of eternity. And if it weren't true, I would never have told you such a thing. when the time of our dying comes, the same God that leads us through the easy times to the quiet places on His track, leads us all the way through our life. We can trust Him to lead us into eternity. What's that going to be like? We don't exactly know. Faithful in the past, faithful for the future. That's the kind of guide we need. In our lives, we need a guide that we can follow, that we can absolutely trust. Jesus says this in John 10. You want to remember where this is? 10:10, the sheep pen. Got me through a test in seminary, that did. Jesus says, I am the good shepherd. Not I know the good shepherd, acquainted with the good shepherd. I'm like a good shepherd. You know what a shepherd is like? I'm a lot like that. He looks you in the eye and you're living and you're dying in your valley of the shadow of death, the darkest days that you could possibly go through. He grabs you by the shoulders, he looks you in the eye, and he says with a love that we can only begin to imagine today, I am your good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. The hired hand is not the shepherd who owns the sheep. So when he sees the wolf coming, he abandons the sheep and then he runs away. Jesus isn't a manager. My father used to play a little game. He had a store. And when he would go into a store, and he would, whether it was a restaurant or a shop, and he would look around, and he said, I can always tell who's the manager and who's the owner. You can tell. Managers, and there's some very, very, very good managers, but they don't have the same attitude as the owner. Jesus says, I'm not your manager. I am your owner. So when he sees the wolf coming, he abandons the sheep and he runs away. I'm not dying for this business. Then the wolf attacks the flock and scatters it. And the man runs away because he's a hired hand and cares nothing for the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep and my sheep know me, just as the Father knows me and I know the Father, and I lay down my life for my sheep. I have other sheep that are not of the sheep pen. I must bring them also. They too will listen to my voice. There will be one flock and one shepherd. The reason my Father loves me is that I lay down my life only to take it up again. No one takes it from me, but I lay it down on my own accord. I have authority to lay it down and the authority to take it up again. This command I received from my Father. At these words the Jews were again divided. Many of them said, he's demon-possessed. He's nuts. Why listen to him? But others said, no, these are not the sayings of a man possessed by a demon. Can a demon open the eyes of the blind? There's one other piece, and with this we close. What is this saying to us as a church? What it's saying to us is there are people that are lost. And I know that's an old-fashioned word. Some are saved and some are lost. But lost recently for me has taken on a different kind, because lost people don't always look lost. Sometimes people, they're attractive and they're well-dressed and they drive a nice car and they have a good job and they are married perhaps and they have children perhaps, and they subscribe to the Wall Street Journal online, and they do all kinds of good things. But inside, in their very center, in their very heart, they're lost. And how you define a person that's lost is they don't have a center, they don't have a purpose, they don't have a direction, and they don't know where to find it. I have a friend of mine, not from this church, and he's a person that you don't know. And that man is so lost. And you'd look at him from the outside, and it looks like he's got everything. He's got every piece of life together. And if he sat beside you in this church, you would say, wow, I would not mind being like that dude. But he's trying to find all of his happiness externally. Maybe if I have the right job, and I buy the right car, and I have enough in the bank, and people think more highly of me, and they think that I'm smart. And so he keeps trying to pile up things in his life. He's lost, because it will never work. You move from lostness to foundness by looking at Jesus Christ and saying, you know, I think you are who you say you are, and you will do for me what you say that you can do. And from the inside out, you are my Lord. You are my purpose for living. You show me how to love my wife sacrificially. You show me how to love my children in ways that I can't figure out by myself. You give me a spirit of gratitude. You give me a spirit of thanksgiving. You have made me into a man, a woman, a child from the inside out. And there's a lot of people walking around this neighborhood that are lost. And who's going to help them? We're going to help them. We're going to look at, is there any barriers that we have that keep people from coming in to us? Are we regularly explaining and helping people to move from being lost in their life to a life that's worth living, that's found in Jesus Christ? Are we helping them to get on God's path? Whether they want to do it, that's their decision. But are we doing our part? And where my friend is, I wish there was a church out there that can do what I can't do. I can only do so much as a friend. I pray to God there's a church that cares about my lost friend enough to bring him out of the darkness into God's marvelous light. Let's pray together. Lord, thank you. You've got this incredible path, and it's a good path and a healthy path, and it's a path that leads to you for all eternity. And Jesus, you say you're our good shepherd, and we believe that. You tell us that you will die before letting someone past you and hurt us, and we believe that. Lord, thank you. Help us, Lord, to this day choose one more, little bit more of discerning your lead and following your lead. And give us a heart, Lord. Forgive us if we say, well, I've got mine. Lord, help us to remember the people that are lost. Boy, I've got this friend. And we've got relatives and parents and children and sisters and brothers and nieces and nephews, neighbors. Lord, how much fun will that be? How much meaning will that give us when we become ever better at helping people step out of a darkness into your incredible light? Be with us, Lord, and help us to be those people that are grateful and those people that are useful. Amen.